And preparation, not skill, may be where most driving problems actually begin. We're talking about preparation, because how you begin a drive shapes everything that follows. When you learned to drive, you were taught mechanics, seatbelt, mirrors, signals, speed limits, but nobody really sat you down and said, "Are you calm? Are you rushed? Are you distracted? Is your car actually ready? Are your mirrors adjusted for today?" Even something basic, putting the car into gear. When you shift into reverse, do you check both side mirrors, do an over-the-shoulder glance, or do you just rely on the backup camera? Backup cameras are incredible tools, but they are not awareness. They are assistance. Preparation means re-engaging the fundamentals every single time, not assuming yesterday's setup still works today. Driving school teaches operation, it doesn't teach readiness. Let's start with the invisible part. How many times have you gotten into your car already late, already annoyed, already finishing a text message, already thinking about an argument, already thinking about a meeting? You haven't moved yet, but your driving has already begun. Driving is decision-making under pressure. If you leave rushed, you drive rushed. If you leave irritated, you interpret everything as personal. If you leave distracted, you miss small cues. A pedestrian stopping off a curb. A car slowing slightly ahead. A cyclist approaching from your blind spot. Most road rage doesn't begin with another driver. It begins with emotional carryover. Preparation includes asking, what state am I in right now? Because the emotional temperature you bring into the car will show up at the first inconvenience. Here's one we don't talk about enough. If you're using GPS, are you entering the address before you move? Hands-free only works if it's actually hands-free. How many times have you started driving, realized you didn't plug in the address, started typing at a red light, or tried to adjust the whole route while rolling? That's not preparation. That's improvisation. If you're going somewhere unfamiliar, enter the address, confirm the route, look at the first few turns, and I like to zoom out and look at the whole route, and understand roughly how long it will take. That way, when the voice says, turn right in 300 feet, it's reinforcement, not surprise. Preparation removes friction, and friction is where bad decisions start. Now let's talk about the car itself. Not deep mechanical knowledge, just awareness. Fuel. Have you ever left with the gas light on thinking, I'll just deal with it later? Now part of your attention is on the gauge instead of the road. Now you're looking for exits. Now you're slightly stressed. Preparation means solving predictable problems before they become urgent. Tires. How many times has a tire pressure light come on and you say, it's fine, it's just the temperature change? I've said that literally many times. In fact, I told my wife that once on her way to work. I said, it's probably just the weather. Not long after, literally 10 minutes later, she had a tire blowout. Thankfully, it happened right before the service plaza on the turnpike. They put the spare on and she still actually made it to work on time, though quite frazzled. But it could have been worse. That moment was a reminder. The dashboard light isn't an opinion. It's information. Preparation means respecting information before it escalates. Visibility. Is your windshield clear? Are your mirrors positioned properly? Are they adjusted for your posture today? If you switch drivers in the household, do you reset everything? Preparation reduces surprise, and surprise is what creates reaction instead of response. There's a tiny moment that matters more than we think. The moment between sitting down and putting the car in drive, or reverse. When you shift into reverse, especially in a driveway or parking lot, do you check both mirrors? Do you physically turn and look over your shoulder? Or do you just glance at the screen? As I mentioned before, and is worth reiterating, cameras are tools. But depth perception, peripheral awareness, and motion detection still come from your own eyes. Preparation includes reactivating those habits every time. February has been off the freeway month, and here's the theme that keeps surfacing. Low speed does not mean low risk. Are you heading into a school pickup line, a crowded parking lot, a construction-heavy area, a downtown pedestrian zone, or a nighttime drive with reduced visibility? A green light doesn't override a pedestrian in the crosswalk. A right turn on red does not override someone legally crossing. And a parking lot does not eliminate risk. Preparation means anticipating the environment before it surprises you. So next time you put your car into gear, ask 4 questions. Am I rushed? Am I calm? Is the car ready? And do I know where I'm going? That's it. No clipboard, no checklist app, no overthinking, just awareness. Because most driving mistakes are not caused by ignorance. They're caused by momentum. And momentum begins before motion. So looking back on our February episodes, left turns require patience, right turns require awareness. Parking lots require humility, and preparation requires honesty. Off the freeway driving is where many close calls happen, and preparation is where many of them could have been prevented. And make sure you check out the podcast home and get your free copy of my ebook, Drive Smarter Now, at drivesmarternow.com. If you're supporting the show on Patreon, thank you. And if you'd like to become a patron, click on the link in the show notes or go to patreon.com/drivesmarternow. Remember, before you drive today, pause, prepare, and then move. Catch you next week.